Day number 4 started where I was meeting some friends in Tumwater for breakfast. We met actually at a Toyota dealership. Dave, Mike, and Richard there. Yeah, I met with them. We had some good breakfast. Mine wasn't too bad. The veggie omelet. That biscuit was really good, though. Really good. After breakfast, I drove around, went and saw the Costco there in Tumwater, number 64. And then I decided, yeah, I'm going to do a proper drive around Tumwater, my old hometown. So let me show you that. I started my drive in the parking lot of the Old Falls Terrace restaurant. I've only ate there once that I can remember, and that was September 15th, 2003. That was the night that after dinner there, we would go over to the Capitol grounds, and in the Rose Garden, I would propose to my wife. I guess I should say I proposed to my girlfriend at the time, and she became my wife. And over 21 years later, we're still married. But right off here to my right here is the old Olympia Brewery. This was a very, very sad drive for me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This was a once thriving area, and it's now just pretty much dead. Right here in this lot, right to the right here as we take this corner, is where the old South Pacific restaurant used to be. Man, they had some really good food and some strong drinks there, and now the building doesn't even stand. It's just crazy. Headed towards Tumwater Valley here, and again you can see off to the right the old Olympia Brewery, and just look at it. People have thrown rocks through the windows, shot them out, whatever. It is just a shell of its glory days. They really need to either fix it up or tear it down, one or the other. I don't know which one they'll do. But man, that was quite sad to see. Off to my left over there, you can't really see it, but at this light, if we were to take the left to go down into the Tumwater Valley area there, yeah, that is where the Tumwater Brewfest is held, the Artesian Brewfest, and the place where my brewery that I used to own, Manfish Brewing, where we won back-to-back 2018 and 2019 Best Beer in Festival. Yeah, back-to-back, and as far as I know, still the only brewery to ever win that award 2 years in a row. There's the old Western Meats. They used to be really big, and I know that they would sponsor just about all of the sports teams in town also. Now this over here is completely new to me. This is what they're calling their Brewing District. We'll end up back there. I ended up meeting a friend there for lunch, so we'll check that out here in a little bit. But yeah, I have never seen that before. Even though it was there before I moved, I had still not had the chance to see that. The last night that we spent in town before we hit the road, headed down to Oklahoma, was at that hotel right there, that La Quinta. So we've kind of come full circle. Honestly, it just seems kind of strange. But yeah, we stayed the night there, and then early that next morning, we hit the road. What was that? Probably December 22nd, 23rd, somewhere along in there, 2021. We didn't get to do much in town. We actually tried to go get something to eat, and the place we wanted to eat at that night was closed, so we just gave up and went back to the room. But lots of memories through here, man. I mean, lots of memories. I grew up in this area, went to high school here. Just up on our left up here will be Brewery City Pizza. We used to go there quite often. Pretty much everybody's birthday, we would go there. Southgate Shopping Center here, boy, it has changed. That latte stand still there doing strong business, it looks like. This whole area is so different, and like this roundabout right here. Yeah, I've never seen a roundabout here until I got to town this time. I kind of like it versus the old stoplight because it seemed like you'd sit there forever, and this at least makes it seem like traffic's flowing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at it different. Maybe if it's busier, if there was heavier traffic, I'd think different. Right up over here, which is now called like right here, this place there, I can't remember what it's called now, like El Patron or something like that. Used to be Jim's Diner. I worked there for years. My mom built that business up on the on the strength of her back. And it's an old 50s diner. Man, if you're watching this and you remember Jim's Diner, drop a quarter in and play A5 for my mama, would you? The Tumwater Lanes bowling alley was right off to my right, and now we're headed up Capitol Boulevard here. We've been on Capitol, but this is the main portion of Tumwater here that, man, I don't know how many times I've driven this through the years. Just seriously, this will lead us up where we'll turn on Israel up here and head towards the high school. Look at the color of those trees over there. Absolutely beautiful. I remember back when it used to be Tumwater Sports right here, this building right on the end. That's where we had to go for everything that we needed back when we got our Letterman's jackets there, all of our patches, all of our sporting gear, all of that stuff. Just past the old Les Schwab here, back over there to the left, Egan's. Yep, got to go there and get some fries and goop. Man, memories, lots of good memories. Like I was saying, 4th of July parade right through here. This is where we would usually try to hang out to watch it. If not here around the Dairy Queen, we would do it up on the next corner. Grade school over here, Peter G. Schmidt. I remember when it used to sit in that lot right there that you could see empty. It used to be all the way up here, and behind it where the school is off in the distance there used to be an open field. Now it's reversed. I just can't get over the color of these trees. I mean, at least in my part of Oklahoma City, we just don't have colors like that. The deep golds and red. It's just absolutely fantastic. Remember when the Point Tavern used to sit right here on this corner where the 7-Eleven is now? To go there, have probably way too many, but those were the good days. I don't know. Were they the good days? I mean, they were a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Again, look at those trees over there. I bet you people out there just take it for granted. I probably did too when I lived out there, to be honest with you. So we're going to take the right onto Israel Road. This will take us by that 7-Eleven I was just mentioning. I don't remember that building at all. It's got to be fairly new. Here's the old Indian Creek condominiums. I used to have friends that lived there. The Malmans used to live in that house. Off to the left over here, we're about ready to see it, City Hall. Love the design of that building. I still really love the design of that building. There's the library. I remember when they put that in, and that was pretty much the newest building in the area. Crazy. Tumwater High School off to my right over here. I don't know why I didn't show the football field off in the distance for some reason. I don't know why, but of course this has been completely redone since I graduated back in 1991. But this is still where I went to school. It looks quite a bit different. This whole area, Tumwater, Israel Road here, man. I remember when there was hardly anything here except for these apartments over here. The old Thunderbird apartments used to be there, but this church wasn't there, and it finally came in probably my freshman year maybe. But these buildings we'll see back off over here to the left. None of that was there. The old L&I buildings are a little bit further up, but then we'll see some more. Good golly, look at those trees. I know I keep pointing them out, but man, fantastic. But yeah, these buildings, I don't even remember them either. Which this, you know, the overpass here wasn't really, there was nothing around. I mean, back over here there were a few houses, but really nothing there, and there's still hardly anything there. But wait till we get up here. They put in a roundabout right up here. We can start seeing it. And then back to the right, this is Tyee Road, and I'll tell you where it connects once we come around to it later. But all of this area is growing. Where I went to breakfast at is just off to the right here at that Toyota dealership. They have a restaurant in it called the Biscuit House. But check out that building over there. It's like 5 or 6 floors. It's going to be an apartment building. It looks like a hotel to me, but I was told it was going to be an apartment building. Now right up here on the corner is where the old Frontier Foods used to sit. Of course, it's been gone for years. But now it's called the Tumwater Trading Post. Look at that building. It looks really cool. owned by, I believe somebody told me, the Chehalis Indian tribe. I didn't go in. Looked really neat. I wish I would have stopped though, but I didn't. Of course, back to the left over here as I'm passing it is where Hank's Corner used to stand. It's been gone, golly, late 80s, I suppose, and they've never developed that corner again. Somebody probably wants way too much money for that land. So now we're headed up Little Rock Road towards the school and eventually to Trosper Road. It's this looks, as I've said about other things, weirdly familiar to me, but it looks small. It looks cramped. I think it's the trees. I think it's all the trees that are grown here. I'm not used to seeing trees this tall back home, especially these big evergreens. So this whole area to me just looks just like you're just cramped in, like something's trying to hold you back and hold you down. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's what it looks like to me. These roundabouts, I don't know. Like I said, I like some of them at the busier intersections, but like for this, it just seems to just basically try to keep traffic slow, which I guess it does their job, and that's fine. Off over here to the left is Tumwater Middle School. It's where I went to school at. Of course, it has changed a lot too since I did. I used to live down the road here at Bishop, just off to the right. Did not show that, but I was able to walk up to school. Love that. Of course, could walk across the footbridge. That would lead you to the high school as well. Spent a lot of time walking across that footbridge. I'd just stand up there and watch traffic at times too, just looking and daydreaming. But all of this is Kinswood Court or Kinswood Plaza, whatever it's called. All of this is brand new since I was last down here. There's yet another Starbucks there. And this is what shocked me right up here. Somewhere right up here, there is a Wendy's in Tumwater. That blows my mind. Back in the day, we'd have to either go to the west side of Olympia or go all the way out to Lacey. Now Tumwater's got a Wendy's here. None of that was here again. Before I left, this was here. The Walmart had been here for years. And then, of course, just past the Walmart is where Costco is. We'll come up on that here in a little bit. Got Mills and Mills plus the cemetery off to our left over there. And then up here at this light, where we could take the right to go into Costco, you can go left into a bunch of businesses. They've been there for quite a few years, but they weren't there when I was growing up. Those went in, several years ago, but, in the grand scheme of time, not that long ago, really. So as we can see, just up ahead there and to the right is the gas station there for Costco. Costco warehouse number 64. Tumwater, right over there. My wife worked there for years. It came in back in 1991. So my senior year was the first time I'd ever heard of a Costco. Little did I know that several years later I would be working for them and have now worked for Costco Travel for just over 12 years. As a matter of fact, as of the recording of this video, I had hit my 12-year anniversary just 3 days prior. Bill Fred Meyer's and all those shopping spots just off over here to the left. That used to be an Albertsons. It looks like it was a Safeway now. Is that what I just saw? Of course, I'm old school enough to remember at this light, kind of kitty corner off to the left, which is now like a CVS or something like that. But back behind it further, there's another shopping area. That's where Mega Foods used to be. That's where we did most of our grocery shopping, and pretty much quite a few kids from school used to work there too. I remember that, like Brandon Martin. He would work there. He'd always work all the holidays to get the time and a half. Smart man. I do that from time to time when I can for Costco Travel. But this now here is Trosper Road, so I'm going to take the right on it, which is going to circle us back. Headed back towards where we were a little bit ago, towards that roundabout. Look at those gas prices. Good golly. That Denny's off over here to the left used to be Nickelby's. I actually had my first dishwashing job at Nickelby's right there. We used to go there when I was a kid, especially for Friday nights, have the chowder and the salad bar. We'd go there with all the family and friends and have a good time. A few years later, I ended up working there. But I remember when this intersection had nothing but where the Fred Meyer gas station is over there up to the right, there was a mobile gas station. That was before they even put in the chevron. It was at Nickleby's and that Mobile, nothing else. This was, well, that's not true. Where the Fred Meyer's is now was the old Tyee Hotel. And speaking of Tyee, when I told you I would tell you where it came out at, so if we would have taken the right at that roundabout back there, where I mentioned it, it would have brought us right here to where those cars are taking the right. Well, I guess their left, our right. So it now punches all the way through, goes behind the Freddy's, goes behind the Costco, past the Home Depot, under that footbridge that I mentioned, past a huge, huge new apartment complex there by that Toyota dealership where I had breakfast with the guys at this morning, and then to that roundabout. So that's quite cool because that road never existed back in the day. So this is going to take us up over the overpass here, and this is where I was told that there's a roundabout that leads into a roundabout. And I'm like, I've never seen such a thing. Well, sure enough, here's that first roundabout. And it makes sense because this is also where you've got the on-ramp and the off-ramps from I-5 headed northbound. I love the sign. They've moved the sign, the Welcome to Tumwater sign right here. You can clearly see it there on the right now. Love being able to see that there. It used to be further down on the on-ramp. It leads from one roundabout right into the other. And sure enough, we are back now to where we were as we had taken, the right there to go up Capitol. And one of my favorite Mexican restaurants of all time sits right behind that Dutch Brothers over there. It's called Plaza Jalisco. All we'll be able to see is the sign right there. And I still can't believe this gas station is closed. The old Catton's now a Verizon store. It's been for years. And there's Brewery City Pizza again. So now we're headed back up north on Capitol Boulevard. This will take us just up and around the corner here, past that hotel that we'd stayed in just before we moved. And yes, for those who don't know, that is Interstate 5 that we're running parallel with over there to the left. It'll take you from the Canada border down to the Mexico border, and I have driven probably all of it, maybe. If not all of it, darn near all of it. Not at once, but through the years, little bits and pieces, that's for sure. But yeah, coming right up here, we're headed back towards that intersection where we can turn to go to that new Brewing District, and that's where we're going to head here momentarily. Again, I'm meeting my friend Carrie for lunch there. I am way early. I've got an hour before she's going to be here, but I thought, why not? Let's just go walk around, check this place out. And this overlooks Tumwater Valley down there. Man. Yeah, I can't believe they built all this. Whoop, here comes somebody walking. But there are several businesses in this place. I had never heard of it, didn't know what was in here. Carrie gave me the name of some restaurant in here that she wanted us to check out. So that's what we'll do. But before I do that, I am going to walk around and tour this place. And I've heard that there's a place in here called Tumwater Taco Company or something like that that's supposed to have amazing tacos. And you know me, I love tacos. So let's head in and check this place out. Yeah, it's a really cool little place here. I don't know how many it seats, can't be too many, but it is really neat. Again, the Tumwater Taco Company. I went ahead and got a fish taco. Of course I did. If they didn't have shrimp, I always go with fish. They actually shred up the fish after they deep fry it, so that's kind of neat, so it's not one big piece. They've got a whole half of a garden on this thing. And then that sauce right there is their habanero sauce. It was fantastic. Quite hot, but it was really, really good. If you're ever in Tumwater, check out the Tumwater Taco Company because you won't be disappointed. But a little while later, I went up and I met my friend Carrie. God, I love this woman. We have been friends for many, many years, and we had some lunch. So that was my appetizer. This was my lunch, and this is what they call salmon toast. So it is a salmon pate, basically fresh smoked salmon pate with those cucumbers and those sprigs of dill. Yeah, it was fantastic. Absolutely loved getting to spend time with Carrie, but it wasn't long enough because I had to hit the road, go north. I made one last stop. Got to see Garrett here at the Brewmaster's Taproom. Check out that dog. Manfish used to do the house beer here, so of course I had to stop in and say hi to everybody. It was fantastic, and watch Game 5 of the ALCS. What a great way to celebrate the Mariners' Game 5 win. Then at Brewmaster's Taproom having some beer. Always a good time. Always a good time whenever I'm there. But hey, that's the end of my day today. I'm headed back to the hotel. Got to get up early in the morning and fly home. Thanks for watching.